Your mark, get set, go!
Everybody, welcome to the Versatile Horsemanship YouTube channel. I'm Brandi, this is my husband Jason, and today we have the rare occasion of feeding horses together, and just us, without the kids, and
it's a rare occurrence.
It's rare. So we thought that it would be really fun to show you our routine of how we feed the horses in the winter. So it is Easter, April 1st today, and we got about 9 inches of snow yesterday. So it's definitely, we're still in full swing winter right now. So
we have to get it done so we can go lay all of our Easter eggs for our kids to come out and do the Easter egg hunt.
Yes,
so
we have to go and put a couple hundred, no, maybe 100 Easter eggs.
Something like that.
Something like that.
Yeah.
We're gonna hide, and since we have 9 inches of snow, plus what we already had, a couple feet we already had, Easter last year we didn't have any snow, so this year we're gonna be hiding the Easter eggs all over the barn, and or the 3 different barns, and let the kids go and search for them that way. Probably a few in the snow, but we'll be nice.
And so I think the interesting thing is that with living up where we live, you get the best and the worst of all the seasons. And so for us, it's April, and in April you can either have beautiful 80 degrees, t-shirts, dry ground, and everyone's just enjoying life.
Yep.
Or you can have 9 inches of snow on April 1st.
Or you could have a foot of mud, and everybody's miserable.
Right.
So luckily we don't have that yet.
Right. And so this year, this is the abnormal year where everything's still frozen. We had a little bit of a thaw, but unfortunately not enough. And then we got a bunch of snow, and so we're kind of back in full-on winter mode again. And what we do when we feed, and a lot of this is, what Brandi has kind of orchestrated over the years, is really to make our life in our barn as efficient as possible. Mm-hmm. So no matter what happens with the weather or the season, we can adapt basically overnight. Because literally we had 50 degrees the day before, and then the very next day we had 9 inches of snow. And so putting everything away and then having to take it all out is an absolute nightmare.
It's just not an option.
So for us, we try and make things efficient and consistent. And so no matter what Mother Nature is going to do, we can adapt to it, right? And we can make it happen. So I hope that you guys enjoy it. And please make sure that you put your comments in too. If you have anything else that you want to know about, we're happy to answer that, and to maybe even do another video for that later on.
Yeah, if there's anything in particular that you see that you want to see more of, or anything that you can think of that you would like to see us do that we haven't done yet, please be sure to let us know.
Should we go feed?
Yeah.
All right, let's go feed.
All right, so first thing I'm going to do is get my water going. So I have my heated box. I'm going to unplug it. If you haven't seen my video on how to water the horses, you can check that out for the full description of everything. But I just wheel it underneath my little roller. Okay, and then grab my hose and go. Excuse me. Unfortunately, we have to have the tub heaters on still. I was able to turn them off for about a week and had to plug them back in because winter happened again. This is our where our water spigot is, our little pump is inside. So I'm not going to lift it up, but we've got light bulbs inside here that would point directly at the tank inside, so it keeps it from freezing. And then we've got a little thermostat up on the wall that shows it's 66 degrees inside the box right now, and it shows that our outside temperature is 32 degrees. So we keep a really close eye on that, because if the bulb should burn out, we want to make sure that we get those changed immediately, because we don't want the temperature to go down in this box below freezing.
But we'll keep it from freezing with just one bulb working, so we do have a backup usually.
Yes, we have a backup just in case. case. And there's a timer inside too that we've used before too. So when we need it, when we have really, really bad temps. This is a pretty mild winter compared to previous years. You know, we had, a few years ago we had a really, really bad winter, and that's when we used the timer. So now that the water tubs are filling, it takes about 45 minutes total for me to fill up the tubs. So this is when I go over and I fill up our side-by-side with hay and get the first load out. So let's go over there. This is the part that our kids love the most because I let them climb on the hay, and it's their obstacle course. They think it's pretty cool. So probably my least favorite part. Throwing down.
So this is just out there for any guy who's gonna marry a horsewoman. So if you're gonna marry a horsewoman, this is what you need. You need one that's not afraid to do a little bit of work. And
that's not what I thought you were gonna say.
Not also afraid to throw a hay bale on her husband's head every now and again.
I thought you were gonna say to avoid it because you'll get stuck doing hay the rest of your life.
No, the benefits are pretty good, but if you're gonna marry a horsewoman, you better understand how to throw hay.
Heads up. Yeah, it stacked it just right.
Perfect.
I'm gonna throw it out just so I don't have to climb back up here tomorrow.
Want some help?
No. I knocked down all these bales that are right on the edge, so when the kids climb, I don't have to worry about them falling down. Still want to be up here since it's spring break. They're going to be out here left foot, so down.
What's up?
Okay. They're going to be up here a lot. There. All right. Shall we? So we need 6 bales for the first load and 3 to 4 bales for the second load, depending on how much they've eaten since yesterday. One has a half a tank of gas and says, oh, I should probably fill up. The other is on empty and says, I know my car. We need gas. Yeah. But I know that I can use it probably for a couple more days, even where it's at, but we'll put it in. I don't have nets in them right now. I'll show you when we go over to the Borders pasture. The nets, they're really sweet. This one we're making new frames for them, so I'm not using the nets at the moment in this pasture. But before we get serious mud, I will be.
Like the Pied Piper out here.
So when we get hay every year, we go through almost 4,000 bales. So here we have to put all the bales up in the barn, and then every single day I handle 10 bales. Nika, she loves you. That is actually his horse, and she loves him. But I ride her.
I think she actually just likes to be fed.
And I train her.
Yeah.
But he started her. Sorry.
Lucky. So this is Lucky. This is actually the horse that wouldn't play very nice the other time that Brandi tried to show a video. The nice thing about Lucky is if you look at him, come here, buddy.
He doesn't. Cinnamon is mean to him though.
Let's see if you can get a look here, but Lucky is missing an eye. There he is.
And it's really weird because there's actually a ball, like a glass ball, so it feels like he has an eye under the skin. It's really weird, and the kids all love it. They like to touch it because it's kind of weird. But so he has a little disadvantage because he can't always see things coming up on this side. But he does really, really well with it. He's adapted super well.
And he's a sweet pony.
He's a sweet pony, but he's like, I want my hay. Go ahead. But she doesn't like him, so he's just gonna follow us to the next box. We find hundreds of strings from years past that were not from us on this property. So it is a big pet peeve of ours to have strings on the ground because this is littering. It belongs in the garbage. Always take care of the strings off of your hay bales. Always. I'm gonna go look at something. So I'm super excited. My father-in-law just put this in a couple days ago, and this is for just loose salt, and I have a supplement in here as well. But I've been wanting to put free choice loose salt out for the horses for quite some time. It's just, how do you do it in wet weather? So finally came up with a solution that I think will work. Any of the wall feeder, mount feeders that I found are plastic, and I figured they just break them. So I found these little teeny tiny rubber feed pans and just mounted it to the wall, and it's small enough for the little ones to get into, and they love it. The first night it was out here, they ate almost the whole thing. So they have salt blocks available at all times, but it's just not enough for them to have a block. They're not able to get enough of it that they need. So having this, I'm super excited about because it'll be so good for the horse's health. So I need 4 bales for the other pasture, well 3 to 4 depending on how much they've eaten. And then I'm going to take whatever's left up to the arena to put in my hay bags, my hay chix nets that are hanging up in there.
I cannot tell you how enjoyable it is to watch you work while I'm not. It's phenomenal. Smart.
So now I'm going to switch my hose over to the other tub as long as it's full. And notice that I've got, currently have a leak here where the hoses are connected and it is sprayed all over the side of the fence here. And there's little icicles hanging. So this one's not quite full yet, and there was a little kink in the hose at the end, so it's almost full. But so now we gotta, when we turn the water off, we'll figure out what's going on with that. I think it's just bent. It's probably just bent. But now we're gonna grain the boarders' horses, and while they're eating their grain, we will put hay out in their pasture. So now I have we have Nutrina Senior and Nutrina Safe Choice, just the original. That's the 2 types of grain that we use. So I'm gonna go ahead and get everybody's grain ready. And I have everybody's supplements in these cans. I like to stack them up from stall 5 to stall 1. It's just the easiest way for me to do it. Okay, so I just have 1 more, and then I'll put them in stalls. All right, so now I just go down the line. This is one part that my kids really like to do. Put all the grain in the stalls, and I just dump the grain on the floor in the corners of the stalls. We have cement floors, and by doing this, if I were to just put a bucket in the stalls, what happens is most of the horses will just pick them up, flip them over, and they end up wasting a lot of the grain. Or if I just dump them in the clean corner on the concrete, they're able to clean up every little bit, and I really like that. I do have 2 stalls that have large buckets, but those horses don't flip them over. So it just depends on the horse and the situation. And we don't keep horses in these stalls at night, so there's no mats, no shaving. Okay, now it's time to let horses in. So today I'm lucky I've got help. So Jason's gonna go and open up the gate, and I'm gonna just shut stall doors as they come in. So the horses pretty much know which stalls they should go in. We do have a couple that are new to coming into stalls for their grain. And not every horse comes in for grain, but so the ones that are a little bit newer, they get a little confused sometimes, so I just make sure to divert them as needed. If I need to, I leave them in for a few days just so they can figure it out. For the most part, they've got it down, but occasionally mistakes are made, and that's fine. All right, so now we're gonna go and put hay out in the boarders' pasture while the other water tub is filling up, and then my horses go in for their grain. So on this pasture, I use hay chix netting over top of a frame that my dad custom made to go with these boxes that he also made. This one obviously is still full. Yesterday there was a little bit of hay left in it, and I added a whole bale to it, and there's still lots in here. So I'm just gonna leave, I clearly don't need to do anything with this one, so I'm gonna leave that one, and then we'll just put hay in the other 3 boxes if it's necessary. So what I do here, I'll open it all the way up so you can see. Here's my hay chix net and frame. I'll just set that out of the way. And I'll just make sure that the hay that's left is nice and flat. We've lived here for 8 years, and when we moved in, these little pruning shears were left in the barn, and I have run these over. I have lost them. They really have been broken. They've, you know, but I use them every single day when I put hay out, and I refuse to replace them because I just like them. And my husband thinks I'm completely crazy, but it's what works for me when I'm out doing this. So my frame just goes over top my net, and I make sure not to cut my netting, and I pull my hay strings out by the knot. And now what I really like about these is it makes it so the horses, it really regulates how much or how fast they eat. So those that are a little bit of easy keepers kind of slow down, and those ones that are a little harder to keep are able to stay at the same pace as the other horses. And so I really like them. And the waste is minimal. As you can see, there's really not much on the ground here. So I love them. They work great. And then the horses have hay all the time. They never run out of hay in these boxes with these nets like this. So. I'm such a fan of this hay chix netting that I became an authorized dealer for it, and that way, you know, I replace my nets every so often, and it makes it really worthwhile because I buy so much of it. And then it's a product that I really firmly believe in, and so I can help others come up with the same sort of solutions for their feeding needs. But I use these nets everywhere. I have them all over in the barns. I use them in the stalls. I use them on my tie wall. I use them in hay bags in the trailer. Everything. So I think they're really great, and they've got a lot of different products. But this that I have in the net in the boxes is the 5x5 do-it-yourself netting, and I just attach it to this frame, and it works out extremely well. I'm very pleased. In my other pasture, I'll be doing this too. This is a newer frame compared to what I used to use. The one that I used to use wasn't as efficient or as lightweight as these, so we're in the process of redoing them in all of the hay boxes. But boy, what a way to save on hay! It really makes a big difference. And the thing that I like too is that the horses, they're never really bickering with each other. They are never in a big hurry to come in for their grain or anything like that. They just are kind of calm all the time. And I mean, they play and run around and stuff, but these horses out here really don't have any marks on each other, or marks on them from fighting with each other, nothing like that. They do really, really well with them. They stay busy. They have to think about their hay consumption. Oh, Bailey! I pull bales out of the back side by side. Now I'm gonna coil up my hose because my water tubs are full before I let the other horses in. And they'll be in eating their grain while I have to put some hay up in the other barn. So they'll eat their grain while I do that. My arm workout today. You know, as soon as the tubs are done filling, I have to do this part because I don't want my hose sitting out there with water in it and have it freeze while I'm finishing or doing other things. So if you'd like to see more of an elaboration on how I water the horses and about this heated hose box and our tub covers and stuff, I do have a video on how I water my horses in the winter, so be sure to check that out.
Are you stuck, babe?
Whoopsie! Like my dad says, the hurrier I go, the behinder I get. Because stuff like that happens. Alright, we'll plug that in. And that's good to go. So now I'm getting grain ready for my horses. I have 7 of them that get grain. And they all get slightly different stuff. I have a horse that has PSSM, so I'm really careful about what I feed her. For anybody that doesn't know, PSSM stands for polysaccharide storage myopathy, and it's a genetic muscle disease basically. So she's on a special diet, and I'll show you what she gets when I get to hers. So those who know Miss Kitty, she only gets that much grain and she stays as plump as she is on that. She's my senior horse. She's 25 years old. So she's on grain just to keep her in good working condition. She's a little on the porky side, but she's one that I use the most in the summer for lessons, spring and summer. So I want to make sure that she's got good weight. Now, so my PSSM horse, that is Petra, she gets Super E, and she gets a scoop of this once a day. So that's vitamin E. And then she also gets rice bran. And then I give her Equishine supplement. So that's what Petra gets. And now Bear, my daughter's pony, he gets, we think he may have heaves. He started coughing a lot this winter, and it's not a cold or anything. He just has a little cough when there's any dust involved. So we have him on a cough-free supplement, and that seems to be working really, really well for him. So he gets just a little bit of grain, and he gets half a scoop of vitamins, and then he gets this cough-free. It has an interesting smell to it, but he really likes it. So that's cough-free. This stuff works really great on horses that have a cough, if they'll eat it. So it's got a taste that a lot of them don't like, but if they'll eat it, it works great. Okay, and I add a little bit of water to this and just stir it up real good, and then all the medicine gets attached to the grain and he gobbles it right up. So, all right. So something about Trigger, the horse that goes in this stall now, is he's got a little bit of, he's a little claustrophobic when it comes to being in a stall. Not a big deal, but he just comes in, he poops once or twice, runs around in it, makes a mess, and really it was more of an inconvenience than anything because I had to clean up after it each time. So anyway, what I started doing is this stall has a paddock off the back of it. So I just open up, I I just open up this door and he comes in and eats his grain, and maybe he'll go out there, you know, when he's done, but he has not pooped in his stall once since I've been doing that. And even some days I don't do that, like if the wind's blowing or if I just don't feel like it. It's good for him to just be in here without that being an option, but it's really helped with his anxiety with being in a stall. So I'm very pleased about that. So sometimes you just kind of have to look at what the horse needs and see what you can do to make them more comfortable and adjust to fit the situation. Okay, now we're gonna let these horses in. Okay, so now my horse is in for grain. Bear, you're not coming in yet, honey. Come on in, baby. Come here, Bear. Come here. Come on, Bear. He knows exactly where to go. I only had to lead him over there a couple of times for him to figure that out. He's so smart. So now we're gonna go up and shut stall doors and wait for them to finish eating. These guys are really good about always going in their correct stalls. They're very, very good about it. They know the routine. So one of the reasons why I feed my horses last is I don't always get the opportunity to feed grain the same time that I'm doing hay. Sometimes I put the hay out and I feed grain later. It just depends on my schedule for that day. So that, and I don't like when everybody's standing at the gate. It gets difficult to let the horses in. So I like to let them all be out eating their hay, and then I'll actually call them up to the gate when I'm ready to feed them. So, or sometimes like today, they all just automatically came up to the gate. So, but it's nice too, because if I ever need them to come up, I can call them and they all come running. So it's pretty nice. So, but Petra's here waiting now, so I'm gonna let her up so she can eat her grain. She eats hers outside right now. And this is the easiest thing for us to do at the moment. I'll let her in. She'll just go ahead and demonstrate how they just dump it over and then eat it off the ground anyway. So I typically ride this horse almost daily. So usually when I do give her her grain, I bring her in, and she's in because I'm riding her, and I do feed her in a stall. But if I happen to be feeding on a day where I'm not riding her, she eats her grain right here. She's one of my favorite horses to ride. A few of the other ones have meandered up for a drink of water, and so when I open the gate to let these guys out, they've all wandered out. No big deal. I'll just send them all out when I let Bear out. Feed horses. That took us, it takes me between an hour and a half each day to do the whole routine, and I only feed once a day, so it makes it much easier to having kids and the schedule that I have to just have to do that once a day, and the horses have adapted to that extremely well. So they do just fine with it, and I hope you enjoyed coming along with us and seeing what we do in a day. And would you like to add anything, Mr. Rowling?
No, I think that the only thing I would add is that, you know, we used to feed twice a day, but with the efficiencies and especially the hay chicks netting and stuff, and making those hay available 24 hours a day to those horses has changed our lifestyle significantly, and has really cut it down from what used to be a 2-hour job twice a day, 4 hours a day, to an hour and a half a day.
Yeah.
And for us, I mean, when you've got kids and you've got a horse ranch, and then I've got a job outside of here, and I've got Army, and then you've got running around and a million other things, plus all your training and riding, and maybe a little bit of enjoyment for yourself, the 2 hours a day is a huge deal. And so for us, the lifestyle has to be efficient, and it's got to work. And for us, being able to cut down and make things a little bit quicker each time is really kind of a goal. And it also is nice because we can really show what we do for somebody else if we want to go and we want to leave on vacation, and it doesn't have to be an overwhelming task to teach someone what we're doing.
And since the horses have hay available pretty much all the time, we can kind of change what time of day that we feed, so it's not always the exact same time, and the horses never get reliant on us feeding at the exact same time every day. So that's nice, and none of them get enough grain where it really makes a huge impact on them at all. In the past, I've had an older horse where I did have to feed him a couple of times a day, and that's fine. We work through that. But everybody else, they do really great on the little bit that they get, and everybody's in really good weight, if not overweight, and they're happy horses.
Yep.
And we're happy because we don't have to spend all day feeding them.
Absolutely. So if you like what you see, please send us some comments. We like to hear those. Tell us what you want to see. That's important for us too, and we'll try and put the videos together that we can to answer those types of things. Please subscribe, share it, let everyone know. We would like to make this your daily stop if we can. So,
and be sure to hit the like button too.
Thank you so much.
Have a great day. Happy Easter.
Mark, get set, go! Cleaning house. They're cleaning house. Oh, there's
I know.
I see two more. Ah, good boy, buddy! Yeah! I see, there it is! Good job, guys.
There's still one more.
I got a lot.
I wonder if you guys can find it. There's still one more.
What?
Go look. Go see if you can find it. I saw one more. Go look.
Where?
Just go look. You have to go somewhere else though to look. Go. Here, let me get it.
Stuff under there.
Okay, just chill out. I'll get it. We don't have
Mine. Mine's in the back. Thank you.
Okay, I think
Okay,
that's-
guys, come here. Come here. Stand over here.
Do we have to find more?
No, you found them all. Do you like it? You guys cleaned house.
It's pretty fun.
Let me see your
Your loot.
your loot. Show me your loot.
You got one really dirty one.
Let me see your loot. Brody, show me your loot. Good job. Good job, buddy.
High five, guys.
High
Can we
five.
look at them?
When we get in the house. High
Hey.
five. Yeah.
High five.
Hold on.
High five, buddy.
Yeah.
Mommy, I have to show Grandma.
Brody, high
I'm
five.
gonna put all of this in my piggy bank.
Okay.
High five.
I can't wait to
Good
put all
job.
this money in my piggy bank.
Mama, what do you think?
I think it was awesome. That was super fun. Good job, guys.
Yeah, we
say
got
say
it.
bye, guys.
Bye. Bye.
That's a wrap. Good help is hard to find.